Hello, my name is Jeff. I'm the founder of the Virtual EMDR Eye Movement Therapy Program. In this video, we're going to respond to a question from a virtual EMDR client about what is a successful EMDR session? What should you feel like after your EMDR session is over? Really quick before we get started though, for the people that don't know, I want to explain what EMDR is. EMDR stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing, which is a really long name. I personally like to just refer to it as Eye Movement Therapy because that makes it more simple and makes it more understandable for people. It was a therapeutic approach that was founded in the late 1980s. When it was initially founded, it was mostly used to treat military veterans with PTSD and trauma symptoms. What is Virtual EMDR? That's the company that I'm the founder of. Virtual EMDR is an online program and software that walks you step by step through the EMDR process without needing to have a therapist there. It's something that you can do on your own, on your laptop or your tablet. So today's question about EMDR is from Stephen, and let's take a look at what he has to say. Okay, hi Jeff. I have been a happy user of Virtual EMDR, and I feel it has helped me greatly with my PTSD and anxiety symptoms. Thank you for saying that. I'm also a therapist myself, and I'm interested in applying this tool into my own therapy with others, as it has really helped me a lot. I would not hesitate to recommend it to others. I had a question about the efficacy of the virtual EMDR sessions. How do you know when you've had a successful session, and how should I be feeling when my session is over? Thank you for creating this awesome program, Stephen. Okay, first, thank you so much for your kind words, Stephen. We get these kinds of emails from people all the time, or we get comments on social media from people saying how helpful our program has been for them to treat their PTSD or their anxiety or their depression or whatever it is they're using virtual EMDR to work on. So to answer your question, there are generally three ways that people feel after an EMDR session or a virtual EMDR session. The first way is emotional. You might feel extremely angry or even raging, or you might feel sad. You might even shed a few tears. This is good. This indicates that you've had a successful session because all that emotion is being brought up from whatever the issue is that you were focusing on in your EMDR session. So that's a good thing. That's a sign of your brain and nervous system processing the item that you were working on. The second way that you might feel after an EMDR session is extremely peaceful, especially when you do the deep breathing exercises they just take a couple minutes that are at the end of the virtual EMDR session. You'll find yourself so relaxed or feeling like you've really moved past the item that it is that you were focusing on during your session. The third way that you might feel after an EMDR session is numb or nothing at all. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, and let me explain why. Sometimes your brain and your nervous system, they don't process right away what happened in your EMDR session, and it might take a little bit of time. An indicator that your brain is processing it later is you'll have really intense, vivid dreams with really bright colors in it. A good thing about this kind of session is that when you see an in-person EMDR therapist, you're paying $100, $150, $200 just for one session, and virtual EMDR is a fraction of that. So a good thing about this is if you do have a session where you feel nothing, if it is a session where you were distracted or sort of a throwaway session where you didn't get the work done that you thought that you did, you can always come back tomorrow as part of your subscription. You don't have to spend another $150 or $200 for one session or wait to next week to do it. So it's okay using virtual EMDR if not every session is a winner. Maybe you were distracted because you were hungry, or maybe you were distracted because you have a big work meeting coming up. So let's see what's next here. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is some of the future videos that we have coming up in this series. The next video that I'm going to do is going to be about how to use EMDR or virtual EMDR to deal with future events. So let's say you have something coming up in the future that gives you a lot of anxiety or that you have a lot of fear about. You can do some EMDR sessions focusing on that event, and by the time you get to the actual event, you'll feel much better. The second thing that I'm going to talk about in one of the future videos is the virtual EMDR anxiety protocol. This is a specific EMDR program that we've created for people dealing with anxiety. It walks you step by step through how to use EMDR and the EMDR software to eliminate your anxiety. So thank you for watching this video, and if you want to learn more about the virtual EMDR program, you can find us online at www.virtualemdr.com.